Arancini balls are Sicilian rice balls that are stuffed with gooey mozzarella, then crumbed and fried. So you can imagine just biting into them. That gooey mozzarella is going to be so fantastic. Now to start with, we need to make a very simple risotto. So I'm going to be using a few pans here. So I've got my convenient set here. We'll use these ones later on. In one smaller pot, I have about 800 millilitres of chicken stock, and this is just bubbling away. I'm going to heat my pan, and we need to add 1 onion that's been finely chopped with a generous glug of extra virgin olive oil. And we'll get that going. Now I don't want too much colour on these onions, we just want them to soften and just get them coated completely in that oil. And I'll also season it with some salt. Now for some garlic that I'll finely slice. And there's so many different varieties of arancini balls. I love the bolognese ones. The mushroom ones are fantastic, even the ones with peas. But I also like the version that's super, super simple, just with saffron. And that's the one I'm going to make for you today. So I've just chopped my garlic, and I'll add that now to our softened onions. We'll give that a stir. I always like to add my garlic after my onions have started to soften, just to ensure that it doesn't burn. And now we can add a pinch of our saffron. You really don't need too much saffron to make a difference. So a small pinch of the threads, and that can go in just to toast. And you watch, as I start to add the rice and then the stock, you'll see the colour come out of that saffron. Now, speaking of rice, we need some arborio rice. 1 cup of arborio rice that I'll measure. Perfect. And we'll add that to our onion and saffron mix, and then just coat it completely in the onion. You want to toast off the rice before you start to add the stock. Now usually I would add a very small amount of stock and then add some more, but you can be slightly rough with this because I'm going to cool down the risotto to roll it into the arancini balls. So I'm just going to remove my detachable handle, and we'll grab the stock, and now I'm going to add about half of this stock. Okay, now we're just going to allow this rice to completely absorb the first half of the liquid. Then I'll add the remaining and wait for this to completely cook, or until the rice is al dente. Then we need to cool it. So I like to just pour it onto a simple tray, cover it with some cling film, and allow it to cool before we roll the balls. Okay, this risotto is looking fantastic. Have a look how much it's changed in colour. It's completely yellow. Now to finish it off, I'll add some lemon zest. And I will turn the heat off now because I want to add my parmesan. And if you add the parmesan when it's really hot, what will happen is it clumps together and becomes quite waxy. We don't want that. We want this to act almost like a glue to make this really glossy. So a generous handful of parmesan, and then we'll just fold that through. Yum-o. Okay, now this goes onto a tray. We'll just scoop that out. And then we're going to spread the rice out, and this is just going to help the rice cool very quickly. And you want to cool the rice down completely because you need to be able to mold these into balls. So if it's too hot, it's not going to work, and you'll also burn your hands. So spread that out. We'll cover that with some cling film. And while that's cooling, I'll start my crumbing production line, which is some eggs. I'm going to whisk them with some water, some crumbs, just classic bread crumbs, and also some flour. Okay, the rice has cooled down, so let's start rolling them into arancinis. So I'm just going to take some of the rice into my hands and just press it out. And then we're going to fill it with a baby bocconcini just in the center, and then cover it and encase it completely so we can't see it. Squish it together, and it should be the size of a golf ball. Just like that. So now this goes into the flour, coat it completely, and then pop it into the egg mixture, followed by the crumb. Okay, I'm going to fry some of these arancini balls. I've been heating some vegetable oil. It's 180 degrees, and I'm going to carefully lower them into the oil. Don't overcrowd the pot, so just cook about 4 at a time. Once they're golden brown, I'll take them out and drain them on a rack. Okay, these lovely arancini balls are finally cooked. And I always like to just season them with a small amount of salt as they come out of the oil. Let's plate a few up. I thought this was a very appropriate plate. It looks nonna style. I'm going to have a taste of these. See if there's any goo in the centre. Oh yes, baby. That is what it's all about. Delicious arancini balls. All right, enough chit chat. Got to have a taste. Bocconcini everywhere. Yum.